Hey, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Audit Soozin on the line, and she's a fast growth executive over at MD9. Audit, welcome to the show.
Adam, thank you so much for having me.
So I'm excited to get into today's topic, the importance of a marketing audit. I feel like we spend a lot of time talking about launches and correcting and creating the correct strategy, but I think we don't give enough attention to the audit side. And so you've launched, you have everything set up. Is everything still working? So I think that's going to be a great topic. But before we get into that, Audit, I want to go a little bit further into what you're doing over at MD9. So tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
So we originally started as a part of the $1 Million Pineapple, and we're the consulting arm of this growth suite of or collection of companies. Basically, we focus on auditing your marketing efforts and seeing what the best avenues are for you to really be focusing on based on your current resources. I think a lot of people, they focus on, hey, this is our strategy for the year, but they don't take time to look at the data enough to reflect on which customer acquisition channels really should be dialed back and which ones should be ramped up. And that's something that I think not enough people do month over month. So that's what we help with.
And I think that's a great transition. So let's just jump right into today's topic. So the importance of a marketing audit. Where do you want to start with that one?
So we have a few ways that we help people to audit their company's current marketing initiatives. We've broken them down into 4 that are the most common areas where we see the need for an audit. One is just a comprehensive audit across 22 customer acquisition channels, looking at what's getting the highest conversion rates, what's getting the longest retained users, and figuring out how we can pull that data into other acquisition channels, or if assessing whether or not those acquisition channels should actually just be paused for a little while, and while we focus on the highest converting customer acquisition channels that are bringing in the longest retained users. The other 3 are search engine optimization, conversion rate optimization, and social media optimization. I found that when we are doing the comprehensive audit, the majority of the customer acquisition, I guess, like losing points are in one of those 3 arenas. So I've found through the SEO audits and the comprehensive growth audit that the SEO for a website was actually not done properly, or they're not even getting the right report generated for that website, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, when you have startups that are growing so quickly and companies that are growing so quickly, you'll find that sometimes the founder or the CMO, they were amazing at their job in the beginning, but now what they're doing more often than not is having to sit in meetings and make high-level decisions, and they don't always get the chance to investigate what their teams are doing or their outside resources are doing at a granular level. And so we come in and kind of bring that microscope in and study that for them.
Yeah, and I mean, because it is tricky, like as you said. So if you think about when you start out in the beginning, like you know everything. So when you have very little followers, very little traffic, very little, like it's easy to say. It's like it's easy to manage because you know what's going on and it's simple. But as you start growing, so when we started, I mean, geez, now we have over 30 social media channels across all our platforms. So when I started and it was just little old me, it was easy, right? Like no big deal. Like we can do one channel, one thing to monitor, one like whatever. There's no big deal. Then you add websites, then you add all these other channels, then you add different platforms, and now you have to make as a founder or as the person making decisions and writing checks, you have to think about where to spend and where to increase your spend and where the advertising goes and all these other components. And without a legitimate audit, it's really hard to make those decisions. Where do you find, and I know this is going to change, by the way, I know this is going to change, Audit, based on, founder, size of company, niche, all these other things. I know there's going to change, these things can change, but where do you find some of the common, like, themes of mistakes that people are making out there, like with by not having audits? Like, what do you see like day in and day out, and you're like, oh, knew we were going to catch that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
I knew you had one. I knew you had it. You just exhaled. The whole audience was like this. Go ahead.
A really common one is a founder will go on Upwork or Fiverr or somewhere to hire a person who specializes.
Everybody's cringing. Everybody's cringing right now because everybody's done it, and they're all like, she's talking to me. Or some of the people listening right now are doing it as we speak, and they're like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to say that, though. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. You're right. I usually get this cringe face when I'm talking to people in speaking engagements as well. But it's yeah. So you go on one of those websites to outsource a specific channel to a specific person. Well, that person, they're always going to report that their job is imperative to your growth, when it may not be. And it may be one of the lowest performing and most expensive channels, but they're going to find like 6 ways through Sunday, some piece of meat that they can claim is solely due to their efforts and to their work. I have seen some extremely creative Excel documents outlining how a specific channel that is not performing and actually doing horrendous work for the brand is absolutely imperative. And oh, of course, it takes 18 months for us to really get you the highest ROI off of this channel. No, it doesn't. If they're an amateur who just graduated from college and is learning how to use that channel, yeah, they're going to take 18 months to learn how to use that channel. But if you have somebody who's been in this for a while, they should know how to cross-pollinate across multiple channels. They shouldn't be focused on one channel because they know that certain businesses are going to have their target market more active across different channels. So when I've gone into scenarios where they have each of their marketing employees or freelancers is a multidisciplinary, they're across a few channels, we've noticed there's less mistakes with too much money being put into the wrong channel. But when you have situations where there's one Facebook person, one Instagram person, one person that only focuses on Twitter or Pinterest, then you see a lot more money being wasted on the wrong channels.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. And so what do you find? What do you think is the balance there? Like, is there a balance? Because I find it hard because I've seen very few agents, and I'm talking for the small businesses. If you're enterprise level, sure, then you can find the right agency that's going to handle all of them effectively and have this amazing, you know what I mean? Like that's a given. But if you're a small business, it's very hard to find an agency that handles all of them effectively. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of our clients, they come in once a year for a growth assessment. And we look at everything that happened over the past year because, buying cycles are also their cycles. You don't have people purchasing the same exact thing every single month. You have people purchasing at, different, there's cycles. So we look at the entire year and then we make their growth roadmap for the following year. Seeing that, hey, there was a higher conversion rate on, and you have more retained users coming in from email this month, but that month, the majority of your highest converting, most longest retained customers were coming in via organic search engine rankings in search. So let's focus more on preparing and ramping up those efforts during this fiscal quarter. And we kind of look at it's more like a dance, and you want to figure out how to dance to the same rhythm as the people you're trying to get to dance with you, to dance with your startup, to buy from you.
I love it. And Adi, I could talk to you about this all day long, but we're about out of time. That being said, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on either the audits that you're doing or also just in general, they want to work with MD9 and learn more about the business and ways that they can partner and work with you and your team, what's the best way for them to reach out?
MD9.co. It's not .com, it's .co.co.
Fantastic. Well, Adi, it's been great having you on the show today. Appreciate you coming on and talking about the importance of having a marketing audit. Everybody listening right now, they're like, oh, got to get it done. So again, go over to mb9.co and submit so that you can start that process. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of things and projects you're working on. And Audit, thanks again for coming on the show.